Hey there, poetry lovers! Today, we're diving into the powerful words of Psalm 22, a beautiful and emotional poem that speaks to the human experience. This psalm, written by David, is a heartfelt cry for help, a plea for understanding, and a testament to the human spirit. Psalm 22 begins with a poignant question, my God, why have you forsaken me? It's a cry for help, a desperate plea for understanding. David is in a state of anguish, feeling abandoned and alone. The next line continues this theme, why are you so far from saving me, so far from my cries of anguish? David is in a place of despair, feeling distant from God's saving grace. The third line takes this theme even further, my God, I cry out by day, but you do not answer, by night, but I find no rest. David is in a state of constant anguish, feeling abandoned and alone. But then, in the midst of this emotional turmoil, there's a shift. David recognizes that God is the Holy One, the one Israel praises. He acknowledges that his ancestors put their trust in God, and that God delivered them. Psalm 22 is a powerful reminder that we all experience moments of despair, but that we can find strength and hope in the knowledge that God is always with us, even in our darkest moments. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Psalm 22. If you enjoyed this exploration, please give this a thumbs up, and don't forget to follow and subscribe for more poetry insights. Stay inspired, and keep reading.
The Worldwide Church accepted Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John as reliable and authoritative. Why? First of all, because they were written by apostles or those who knew the apostles. Secondly, because they were orthodox in their teaching, sticking to the teachings of Christ. And thirdly, because they were used by the whole church repeatedly.
But they didn't write those things together?
No.
John was not sitting next to Luke? Right?
No. John and Luke were not sitting side by side when they wrote. Those documents were written at different times, in different places, by different people. But then the church, the followers of Christ, began to use them with such great repetition that it became a no-brainer. Now, it was not a no-brainer for 2nd and 3rd John. That was not a no-brainer. There was some dispute over whether those were reliable and authentic.
Hey there, friends. Today, we're going to dive into the powerful and uplifting words of Psalm 91, specifically verses 1 to 5. Let's explore the message of safety, protection, and refuge that this passage offers. Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in whom I trust. These words remind us that when we place our trust in God, we can find peace and security in Him. Surely He will save you from the fowler's snare, and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart. This part of the psalm assures us that God is always there to protect us, and His love and faithfulness are our ultimate defense. You will not fear the terror of night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in the darkness, nor the plague that destroys at midday. These verses give us hope that, no matter what challenges we face, God is with us and will keep us safe. So, let's remember these powerful words and find strength in them. Thank you for joining me today. And don't forget to follow and subscribe for more uplifting and inspiring content. Until next time, take care and stay safe.
Stories, like some utopia story about a guy who rose from the dead. I'm thinking, I need more than just, testimony from such an event, because the initial probability of someone rising from the dead is significantly lower than the idea of someone being a liar or mistaken or, crazy.
Okay?
So with the resurrection, I think, the probability that the Gospels are mistaken or they have falsehoods in them about the event is higher than the idea that Jesus rose from the dead. If you compare the two.
Okay, so what type of evidence do you require before you can believe that Jesus rose from the dead? What are you looking for?
Type of evidence?
What type of evidence would be enough to convince you?
If it's a historical event, I'm not sure there is enough evidence. Could ever, in principle, be enough evidence.
Thanks for your honesty.
Historical event.
Right. Exactly. And I would insist that it's possible that you're using a double standard. When you attack history, you got to be consistent. And you got to come up with your tests, whatever they are, and you got to use them consistently. Now, I'm going to ask you to think about this. Is not your real problem with the resurrection of Christ not an historical problem, but a philosophical problem?
Well, yeah, I mean, you're interpreting the evidence in a philosophical way, yeah. You have to have a philosophical theory on how to interpret evidence. Yeah, so, yeah, it's a philosophical problem.
But isn't this your philosophical problem? Miracles cannot take place.
I'm not saying that. I'm distinguishing between knowing a miracle occurred and having the miracle actually occur. I'm not saying that I'm not